to Echoes of Eternity. The whole team's here.
Echoes.
The whole team's here. And now, even though Sam still doesn't have a camera, he is colorized. And so it's a little bit better. Now you can see his beautiful green skin.
Do you think it's because he's actually become part cyborg and he's trying to hide it from everyone?
I don't know that. I think Sam is a computer program that JP created. Super artificial man, Sam. So
you want the facts? You want the facts? I couldn't follow the black and white version of this. All right, and now I can never have a cam. This is color. It looks cool.
It does look cool. But
I'm jealous.
We definitely one day need to see your face. I need proof of life, Sam. I need proof of life.
We need CAPTCHA here. Prove you're not.
This is to protect you all from my one megabyte down, one up internet.
Ugh.
I add a cam to this. Oh boy.
You know what? It could not be any worse than what happens to me sometimes, where I'm like, hello, everyone. Well, like, let's not even joke about that. It could have happened right there and no one would have known the difference. Oh my goodness. Hey gang.
I forgot to show you guys my shoes.
Wait, what?
My Star Wars collab Adidas. They say "May the Force be with you" on the back, and they have the X-wing engines on them. I'm sorry, I should have showed you that before the show, but I forgot. I know, it's amazing. It says
You're wearing them.
Yeah, one side says
on the
"Stay
wall,
on target,"
woman.
and the other says "May the Force be with you."
I am very jealous. Unfortunately, I've chosen my path down the Nike Air Force One route, and I cannot change. So,
but see, Jesse, that's my shoe too. But you can branch out. You can Ultra Boost as you Air Force One.
Do them in a
that is the path to the dark side. I will not.
Call me a gray Jedi. I wear both.
You can't be called a gray. Call me a gray Jedi. You can't just do that. That's not how that works. Like, we're 8 years old. And you're like, I'm a gray Jedi. Like, no, you just can't be one.
No, you have to call me a gray one.
You got to earn that. You can't just. Oh, okay. So
I'll call you it. Don't worry. I'll call you it.
Thanks, Pokket. I knew I could count on you.
No, that's bad news, Pokket. Don't do that. You're just giving into it. Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode. Today is one of those ones where we have to plow right along because we have a definitive end time. So we are going to try our hardest to get through as much of this story as we can, but it's all dependent on these 4 players right here. Before we start, I'm gonna hopefully JP will show you this roll. This is somebody's well, I'm just gonna someone's obligation roll. We'll figure out if that was anyone's or not. I rolled a 79. We'll let people do the math on that. And then, gang, I need you all, if you would be so kind, to go into your character sheet and roll
the destiny pool.
Your destiny pool, yes. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Ha!
All right, so 2 light side. 1 dark. Whoa! And then 2 more dark. All right, thank you for that.
Don't worry, guys. I'll
great
carry.
news. I think I predicted it because that's what's on the screen right now is 3 dark, 2 light. I'll take it. And then for people who are just joining us and you missed out on the last 2 episodes, we have another fun little thing as well, which is on the side. You can see that little like Imperial elevator sort of design. That is our counter for when things get nasty. As characters do certain things, specifically Oda, if she does things of a force related nature, people may get informed, who knows, and that counter may increase, which could lead to bad things. But at the beginning of every episode, you'll find out where it stands. All right.
It'll probably be fine.
It'll be fine. Everything's gonna be great. Also, I have I have so many notes. All right. Also, just for the sake of notes, last episode we had a shootout with some stormtroopers aboard an Imperial freighter, and during that shootout, Oda picked up another blaster and dual wielded the hell out of 2 blasters and took out some dudes, and it was great. Afterwards, I was informed the rules I use for dual wielding are not at all the way that you are supposed to do it. So there's actually I did too. But apparently we have to follow the rules. So just a little rundown of the way it works from now on. This is something that you'll have to make the choice of, which is when it comes to dual wielding, I have to increase the difficulty of whatever you're doing by 1, and you pick which weapon you want to be your primary weapon.
On-hand, off-hand kind of thing?
Yeah. And on a success, you can spend 2 advantage if you get 2 advantage to use and hit with the second weapon, which basically just gives you it's base damage plus 1 uncanceled success. So essentially, you're just you fire. If you get 2 advantage, you can fire again with the other one and get that damage that you would have gotten. So it's kind of similar to what we were doing, but there's 1 more difficulty dice added just to make it a little harder because you're pew 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 pew. You're being cool rather than taking your time and looking down a sight. And another thing that I want to talk about, which was crits. We didn't really have any last time, but you can if you want to. Each weapon has a thing that says crit. I believe for Sam's weapon, for Ulago's weapon, it is a 3. I think
it's a critical of 3.
And for blasters that you have, Oda, I believe it is a 4. But you'll notice your lightsaber is a 1. The way that works is if you get an advantage, right? The little advantage symbol. You need 3 advantage to trigger a crit with your weapon, Sam. With yours, Oda, you need 4. You need 4 advantage to trigger a crit. But with your lightsaber, you only need 1. Again, your lightsaber is very, very powerful. However, remember, you start pulling out your lightsaber, people are going to be like, is that a Jedi? Right? So be careful.
When you say you need 1, do you need 1 in addition to the one that makes you successful, or do you just need to be successful?
Remember, so there's, oh my God, you know what? Bless all of you. I did a thing. So because I love you, I love the group of you so much, and I'm a crazy person. I went and bought the actual physical die that we use in this game, so I can show you kind of what's going on here. And so, what I'm referring to is this symbol is your.
Oh, right. Okay.
So these are the victories. These symbols are the victories, right? If you get that, you get the hit. If you get this symbol like that, that's the advantage. So with your lightsaber, you only need 1 of those in order to get your crit off, right? But anyway, I totally forgot that I was going to do this episode. So in this game, as we talked about, there are 3 good die, right? There's the 3. These are your good side die. The best thing about this is learning that this die that's your bonus has a ton of blank spaces. It's just, it gives you some, it's great, but really only a few sides have stuff on it. So even though it's a 6-sided die, you're only really rolling for 4 sides, that kind of thing. It's fascinating to look at. This one, even though it's 8-sided, you're really only rolling for 7 because 1 is a nothing. And this one, which is your super 12-sided, this is the one you want to keep going for. Obviously, yellow is the way to go. And it's the exact same way when it comes to the evil colors, right? But it's fascinating not until you hold them in your hand do you realize that, what you're actually working with. Because when you're doing it in a program, it just sort of does it for you, and you don't understand, oh, that's interesting. So, yeah, I took some time and went out to go buy those. So if anyone has any questions about how the die work, it's a thing. It's a fascinating thing. Okay.
So one thing that my fellow players need to know about in order to beat Mr. Evil Jesse Cox, that we didn't really know about last time, is if you guys just go to the second tab in Roll20, you'll see a tab called Dice Spending that has been added. And so basically in combat, if you roll a crit success or an advantage dice, you can spend them to do these things in combat. So you can make Jesse's life harder with all your advantage dice and your crit dice. So there are ways to spend those resources beyond just a regular success. And so what he's referring to, Anna, is you can use those advantage dice, those symbols. That's what you can spend on a crit. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you for that reminder, because I forgot that we could do that to Jesse.
Yeah. And you can always do that. But again, I can also do that to you when you get despairs, right?
Yeah.
So or terrible things that happen to you. But also remember, you can use a light side point to automatically get a crit if you want to. Or you can use her to trigger something. Let me see if Ulagu probably has this. Sam, on your weapon.
Yes,
do
sir.
you have okay, so you have qualities on your weapon. You can trigger qualities like you have Pierce, right? Or you have
I have Accurate 1, I have Pierce 2.
Yeah, and so every weapon quality does the thing. And so for Pierce, it ignores 1 point of soak for each rank of Pierce. So I think you have Pierce 2, which means you ignore 2 soak points if you trigger that. Things like that. So every weapon you have, I know that a lightsaber, I think, has Vicious. I believe so. I'm going to go look that up right now for you.
Yeah, so for example, my accuracy 1 gives me an additional boost die to my attack.
Yeah. And so,
it does have one Vicious, Jesse.
Yeah, so if you trigger these things, you get this bonus to everything. And so, for example, a Vicious trigger is like you add 10 times the rating to a critical roll. So straight up, if you trigger Vicious and you hit that crit, it's then 10 times what the Vicious. So you're just adding 10 to their crit damage. So when they roll for crit, it's plus 10 to whatever they roll. And there's things like Pierce that auto trigger. There's a bunch of things that, it just depends on what weapon you have. And we can deal with that when it comes to another shootout and or other things in the future. But it's like it can get very complicated with all the additions. So I'll keep it in mind as we go through and you murder stormtroopers or talk to them. Okay. Yes, some of those things are auto-triggered. Okay, thank you, chat. Much love. Mwah. All right, let's jump into this thing. Thankfully, because it's Star Wars always starts with a recap of what happened last time and a very Star Warsy, imagine if you will, the intro bit, and it says, "Stranded! After a daring escape from an Imperial prison ship with the help of the mysterious Ulago, the convicts crash land on the planet Nam Chorios, not Cheerios, Nam Chorios, a world with barren deserts and crystal mountains covered in dark green sky and a dim sun. Though the craft is damaged beyond repair, with the help of PR3, Deo Fang managed to land the ship. Having escaped the Galactic Empire for now, it'll only be a matter of time before they come looking for their lost prize, Oda Kanali. And they must leave the safety of the shadows. As dawn breaks on their first day on the inhospitable planet, they must make a choice. Or perhaps one has been made for them." And then the camera does that Star Wars-y pan down. Yes, right down to the planet. And we see the wreckage of the freighter. And underneath it, a small group of survivors hiding under the wreckage. The sun is coming up, and what do you do? The Empire is eventually there, not looking for you at the moment. You see no signs of shuttles, as we decided last episode. It appeared like there was no shuttles coming for you. Perhaps they don't have one. Who knows? But there was no one coming for you. But eventually, someone will come. And so you find yourselves on the planet of Nam Chorios. And what do you do?
Have we cared for the survivors yet? There were other people on our ship. Did they
I was carrying him out.
We were yonking him from the wreckage, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone, as far as you can tell, is fine. Some way, somehow, with your triumph roll last time, I think that was you, Pokket. With your triumph roll, you managed to save all the people who lived to get to the cockpit. You managed to save.
Then I guess I'm helping if Dio is carrying them out. I'm like, she's caring for their physical needs. I'm caring for their mental, emotional needs. I'm talking to them, making sure that like, is the calf machine working? Can I make them all a little bit of calf and tuck them in some blankets?
There are no blankets. The ship is destroyed. Yeah, there's a flaming wreckage. Thank you, Strippin.
I'm the EMT who's wrapping a blanket around them and handing them something warm to drink.
There is nothing warm to drink and nothing warm to wear. You are in the middle of a desert.
Then I'm attempting to do that with my words.
It's wonderful. Would you then...
May the force be with you.
Mm-hmm. And let's see how well that works. Would you give me a what would this be? I'm gonna say this is a leadership thing. You're trying to get all these people on the same page and like calm them down. So this is leadership. Yeah, all right. Well, you know what? You've had a real rough go of it. But you succeed in calming everyone down, but you take 2 stress in doing so. Turns out they are shaken.
Everybody's so unhappy, it makes me sad.
Yeah, you're very empathetic.
Fact that you're lying to them that wears you down.
Wow.
Wow.
All the guy's feeling cynical. I got knocked out in that crash landing, and it felt great.
Nat, you're the reason that like I was able to land it though. It gave him that helmet and everything. Nice. I'm just sitting next to Alago, just letting her do her thing. I'm just like shaking my head.
Yeah. Do you want to give me some rolls for either? I don't know.
We were in viewing distance of the city, right?
You are within viewing distance in the fact that you know the direction it is, and you can see like where it was from above. But you visually, it's like a speck in front of you. You're pretty far away. You can get there, but it will take you a bit.
I'm gonna start walking.
Yep, me
you
too.
Just start walking the city? All right. Does anyone want to stop him from doing this?
Holding my neck, rotating my shoulder.
Well, I look at. Do people look like they can get up and walk and stuff? Like everyone looks like they're fine, right?
Everyone's pretty shaken, but I mean they can walk. You literally just crash landed a ship, though. So
I walk up to Oda. I'm in pain. I'm not really happy, but I grab her by the arm and I'm like, we have to go.
Well, can everyone else go?
Yeah, if they can walk, they can go. And I just turn around and walk away.
I start like pulling people up by the elbow. Can you walk? Are you all right? Okay, come on.
Yeah, they all sort of look to you, Oda. They're like, I think we can. And the couple like help each other up, and the Clatoonians are sort of like looking around, still in shock about the whole thing.
Very good. Come on.
It appears so. Meanwhile, in the dirt is the black metal droid, PR3. What do you think of this situation?
Most egregious.
Do you get up to join them? What are you gonna do?
I'm trying to get up, yeah. Can I get up? Do I have to roll to get up?
I don't think so. I figure as a droid, even though it always seems ridiculous that they could sit or get up, you probably have figured out how to do that in your lifespan as a droid. So I don't think you need help with that. But it would look comically ridiculous. Yeah. Because I think you can only do like 90 degree. So you have to like 90 degree angle yourself up. But yeah, probably one of the humans that remain goes over and sort of helps you. It's like, oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And sort of like dusts you off.
Yes. Right then. And I start walking towards the city.
I want to the two that were like the couple. I want to specifically start trying to get them to tell their love story to the group to raise morale, like to get their mind off this horrible situation they're in. So I'm like, how did you guys meet?
Oh, well, and they sort of look at each other and they look back at you like, are you sure everyone wants to hear the story? Of
course we do, don't you? Don't you want to hear it? Oh, yeah.
Well, my name is Calliope, and
what a lovely name.
I was a slave, and Jantham, that's right, his name's Jantham. Jantham was also a slave, and we were working at an Imperial factory.
You got this, Jesse.
And while we were working there at the factory, they forced us to stay in the same room together, and we just sort of like talked, and they beat us mercilessly. And one day, Jantham didn't come back, and I realized that I loved him, and then he came back, and then I knew we had to run, and so we ran. And they like look at each other and they're so in love, but like everyone else is like, holy shit.
Lago's picked up the pace till he's actually out of earshot. He's very far away now.
Can I walk by this conversation?
You are in it. You are like around in this conversation.
You're in it.
I'm in it. Okay. Can I talk to Oda for a second here?
When you are finished listening to this incredibly uninteresting information, you promised me an escort to the prison, and it is of the utmost importance that I reach it.
Well, we're going to the prison. We just had to have some, a classic love story as we walked.
Oh yeah, so classic. I've heard that so many times. People getting beat to death and whatnot. Yeah, that's totally
Well, not quite to death.
Close enough.
The couple you notice has stopped. They overheard you saying, "Yeah, we're definitely going to the prison," and they look terrified. They're like, "Why? Why would we go to the prison?"
Well, I'm sure the PR3 can explain it.
I'd rather him not explain it. PR3, keep your mouth shut, or whatever. Oh, WhatsApp, keep it shut.
Why? We can't go to the prison. That's where they were going to take us anyway.
Well, then stay in the desert where they're going to find you here because you're still near the wreckage.
They like look at you, look back at the wreckage, and then just keep walking because they have no choice.
Above game, I can't remember why we decided to go to the prison. Why did we do? Should I remember why?
PR3 is like, I want to go to the prison. Let's go to the prison. And you all just decided, okay, we'll go to the prison. That's it. That is.
I think
it's all very.
We were going to the prison because it was the only place to steal a new ship.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Right.
Above game.
Okay.
So I think that's literally the only option you have to get off planet is go to the prison. But clearly PR3 is there for another reason.
So we said we would help him to help you.
No, he just dropped that on us right now.
I don't think I actually promised an escort to the prison. I don't remember doing that. I mean, I'll go there, but I don't think I'll escort you there.
Either way, as long as you stand in the way of any danger that may befall me.
I don't know if I'll do that intentionally.
I go and I pat Oda on the back, and it's harder than I intend. And I'm like, I think you got this. You make a good bodyguard. And I walk on.
Does anyone else find it ironic that ship was already taking us to the prison, but you broke out, slammed it into the planet, and then we ended up going there anyway?
You want to go there?
I try to pick up the pace to catch up with Ilago.
Yeah, Ilago, you're out front, you're sort of scouting the area, I would imagine. Yes.
Yep.
Give me a perception check, please.
Maybe I will. Okay, we're not locating prey, so that doesn't count. Let's roll. Perception?
Yeah. Ooh, nope. Even though you are very, very tough and you are trying your hardest to, be the tough guy out in front, you're still pretty shaken from the crash. You literally passed out. You were without oxygen for a good minute.
Deprivation. Yeah, I'm not good.
Yeah. So even though you're putting on a brave face, you're still a little dizzy.
Should I take some strain for that?
You did last time, but we're starting everyone fresh just because it's a new session. But yeah, everyone took a beating last time, but I'll give you it for this. It's like the start of a new episode. And so you don't notice anything in particular. You definitely know that you're headed in the right direction of the city because it's hard to miss. You can see it in the distance. But from what you can make out, it's not a big city. It's sort of like a town in Ohio if I had to real world it. It's not huge, but you know the direction that you're headed, and you know, at least from what you can tell from your perception, even though you didn't see anything that could help you in any way, you kind of figured out that it's going to take you more than a day to get there. On foot, at least.
Yeah. This is like the Ulago specialist. Walk out in front so that you don't show any weakness to the group.
Sure.
You know what I mean? There's a double meaning behind this.
They can't see the tear on your face.
Exactly.
If you're facing away, they can't see the tear. So, do you turn back and say anything to them, or do you just keep going?
Just keep going.
Does anyone else want to try and perceive what is happening right now?
I think Oda would, but she's way too preoccupied with all of the other people. She's trying to care for all the group.
I'd say I'd be on the lookout as I'm trying to catch up with Ulago and get away from all the romance talk and whatnot.
Okay. You get up to him and see that he is trying to look for something, but you're not sure what. Do you ask him what he's looking for, or do you try to find it yourself?
I try to find it myself.
All right. What? Give me a perception roll.
Oh, I take a strain.
Yeah, you strain a bit at first to try and figure out what the hell he's doing. He's looking very intently, but really, as we, the audience, know, it's just because he is suffering from lack of oxygen, and he's trying to focus. But you are trying just as hard to, like, squint and see what he's seeing. But you notice
I put the helmet on him? Is the helmet that he put on my head?
It is. You could. I don't know that it's going to do anything here. You're already in an oxygen-rich environment, so he can breathe just fine. It's just.
Okay.
Yeah, he's just kind of like recovering.
Yeah. Okay.
So you notice that while he's looking in the distance and he's focusing on the city, between you and the city is a series of caves that go deep into the ground, at least from what you can tell. There appear to be 10 to 12 of them, and even though they are still a ways away, they are definitely much closer than what you perceive to be the distance to the town. They don't stand between you and the town. You can completely skip them over, but they're along the way.
I pat him on the shoulder. I'm like, look there. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
The caves. Do you see those? You okay, man?
Yeah. Why?
You're looking kind of rough. I mean, I don't blame you. You did pass out back there, but you don't see those caves right there? And I like line my arm up with like his head.
Do I see them?
You can kind of make them out. You make out the crystal mountains they're attached to. It is over to your left. So if I had to sort of do a POV of where you're at, directly in front of you is a long swath of desert and some mountains and hills in the background where you can see the beginning of the city. And then beyond it, the pillar of the Imperial Citadel, Bleak Point Station, which is the prison, and over, further in the distance. And then to your left are these mountains, these crystal mountains and these caves. And then to your right is an area that it appears to be more desert, but you'd have to look more in depth to figure out.
Yeah, Olaga just follows where she was pointing until he hopes he'll eventually see these caves. Pretends he's seen them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I see him.
So, you think we should go there first?
Yeah, good idea.
And I don't even tell
that. Oh, okay.
I think
we're still walking toward a new ship, but we're going toward.
Yeah. We just kind of lead that way as like the leaders of the group, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And as you begin to lead, you notice that the others are beginning to sort of talk amongst themselves about things like stim packs, rations, water, and how you have none of these things. And maybe it might be better to go directly to the town. Because if you stop, you're just wasting time, right? And they start to talk amongst themselves. The couple is whispering to themselves, and even though you're obviously very close with them, Oda, they're keeping whatever they're saying from you.
Where are we going?
I turn back and look at her, and I just wave her to come forward.
I pat the people telling the love story on the shoulder. It's like, it's a beautiful story. Just wipe a little tear, and then I go up to her and so what's the plan to find a new ship?
Well, we think we should go to these caves, since we're all prisoners. Might not be best to just barge into town. People can rest there, and we'll, I guess, formulate a plan.
It probably would be best not to bring all of them on whatever mission.
And
right.
More casualties. We don't really want these people getting in the way of us. Let's be real.
No. So a stealth mission then?
Yes. Something like that.
All right. We'll drop them off. We'll get sneaky and head out.
I shuffled up to this. I shuffled up to this huddle.
Go back.
All right.
It's times like this that I think to myself there could be any number of horrific creatures in that cave, and I'm thankful that I'm not made of flesh, nor as delicious as you all possibly are.
It's a very good point.
Any creature would tear you apart just the same.
This is exactly why I expect you to go first.
Well, hopefully we can find something to eat.
Is there any check that we can roll to see if any of us know what kind of creatures might live on a planet like this?
Why, yes, there is. If you go to, I'm not sure which of you would have this skill, but if you go all the way down to knowledge, you will
Xenology?
see Xenology, yes.
I have a 1 in that as well.
Yeah,
if you want, you can try and roll PR3 and determine what could possibly be in a cave on a planet such as this.
3 of us rolled.
Yeah. So
we all had the same
news.
thought.
Yeah. So the good news is that PR3, for some reason, you simply don't know. This is not in your data banks. But Oda, Dio, you've spent a lot of time running, hiding, being in caves, and you understand that there's a possibility that there could be things in the caves. There could be things similar to Minox could be in the cave, or maybe like like a Nexu could be in the caves, things that would definitely eat you very quickly. But also it could be all sorts of anything. Maybe like a friendly bear sloth. Who knows? Who knows what could be in there? But no matter what, caves are shelter, not just for sentient thinking things, but for just animalistic beasts, because you're on a desert world. And at some point, it's either going to get hot or it's going to get cold. And a cave is probably the best place to be for any of that.
Do we, with those rolls and our knowledge of this xenology, do we know like signs to look for certain kinds of animals? Like if there's a big bad, would we see like footprints or droppings or something like that?
Sure, I'll give you that. With the 2 successes, I think both of you together can figure out the fact that, like, yeah, if something's in there, you'll figure out if something's in there.
Cool.
Is there anything immediately in the desert that we can see, like banthas or nerfs or critters?
Around you in the desert, it is bleak, and because the reason why you guys are rolling 2 for everything or against 2 die is because this planet is dim. The sun is either it's dying or it has always been a dark star. And the planet has this sort of green sky that is caused by the Gomex moss that is on all the water. And it is just, it's a dark, dark planet. And it definitely feels weird, Oda. You can sense something's a little off about this world. Like it never really had a chance. The whole force, like life, death, all that. It never really had a chance to have the whole life thing. And so it feels a little weird. But in the desert you're in right now, it's hard to tell. You'd have to look for something specific. You can see around you in your immediate area, nothing. I would have, on the roll that Dio did, I would have been like, there's banthas over there. Like
let me roll.
You don't see any of that. Sure. What are you rolling for?
I have hunting goggles, which gives me a bonus dice to any perception check made to locate prey.
Okay.
Let me have one there.
Prescription hunting goggles?
What's up? Prescription? They should be now. Am I throwing on 2 difficulty?
Yeah, no matter what, it's always 2 for this world. Yeah, okay.
Okay. You want to throw it in the pool for me?
It already is.
Oh, nice.
Oh! Unfortunately, nothing. Yeah.
Big fat nothing.
You can use those advantage in some way and let everyone kind of... the advantage don't.
Oh, God, yeah, you're right.
Oh, that's right. I need to take a strain for my, xenology roll, right?
Yeah, make sure to do that. But you can use the advantage in some way that you want to.
Let's add a boost dice to Oda's next check.
Sure. Oda, do you want to do something? Or you just want to hold on to it?
I want to hold on to it until we get to the cave. I'm preparing myself to make sure that I give it a good check and protect everyone if need be.
Great. Okay. So...
My walkling with reckless abandon is allowing her to pay more attention to the scene.
Yeah, you don't notice anything. And the team just sort of heads towards the cave. And or the cave system. And the group of stragglers follows along. Again, they have no choice. They're just sort of along with the 4 people who saved their lives. And they just are a little bit behind you. They clearly don't see themselves as a part of the team. They're just along for the ride. But with that said, they're in little groups talking to each other. And they're in hushed tones, and it's very hard to hear what they're saying, but it doesn't seem like they're too optimistic about whatever's going on. So
that's fine. We just need to get them safely into this cave. So I'm just kind of like, come on, ducklings.
So a few hours goes by as you walk towards these mountains, and it begins to, before you, this mountain range of crystals begins to grow as you visibly get closer, and you can see just how huge it is and how big these crystals actually are. It's giant spires of crystal coming out of the ground, and at the base of this set of mountains is a series of caves that go into the crystals themselves. And like I said, there are 10 to 12 cave entrances, but as you get closer, you can clearly see that several of them are just double entrances to the same cave. Yeah.
Sorry, I should have said this earlier, but as we're walking, or at least as we get closer to the mountains, can I do anything to obfuscate our tracks? Like try to.
Sure. What would you like to do?
I mean, maybe there's like a big piece of shrapnel or something I can drag behind to kind of like flatten the sand, or maybe I can find some sort of like brush to kind of like whisk our tracks away in certain places.
Let's see. I will give you this if you can roll for me.
Can you force push?
I think so, but I don't want to because I don't want anyone to know I can, because you don't know I can.
I'm not gonna look behind me.
I think if I'll let you have it'll be 2 rolls. I'll let you have the concept of what you're doing if you give me a deception.
Okay.
And then it'll work if you give me a stealth.
Oh.
So yeah, you definitely did it. I mean, like, you're doing it. It is happening, but unfortunately, little are you aware of the fact that like you're just making another track in the sand.
So I'm dragging like this giant sled of shrapnel to try to obfuscate our tracks, but it's just making one big path in the sand that makes it easier to follow us.
Absolutely, cool. That's what's happening. So yeah, you've made sort of a track in the sand, and it's about this time you look back and realize what you've done, and you can see this sort of just winding path leading directly back to the wreckage, which is now in the distance, a smoldering fire in the distance. But you can see, I've created a road that will lead directly to where we're going.
I just, without like
before we get to the caves, when does she notice this? Is it before the caves? Because I would like to go up and
it's several hours into walking. You're not at the caves yet, but it's several hours into walking.
I'm gonna walk up, take that from her, and throw it, and then give her like the hardest mean mug of a lifetime, and then just walk away.
She's gonna give the sheepish like, and then just keep walking and not say anything about it. Just let that go completely.
I don't get. I just no. That's my job.
Is there a set of caves you want to go to, or a cave in particular? They're not all just next to each other. There's many different ones that you can see. They have big entrances.
Scout. I want to scout, see if I want to find one that does not look inhabited by anything.
Okay. Perhaps you could use Sam's goggles, or you could get Ulago to use his goggles to track stuff as you get closer to the cave.
Yeah.
I can use them to locate prey. So I guess we can pick the one where I don't see anything.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll roll.
Nothing. Not a thing. You can try, Dio, to see if there appears to be one that looks like
perception.
It might be the one that will get the Empire off your back. The now that you know that you've created a path.
No, I want to do something specifically. That I want to send the people to the one that looks uninhabited, and then clean up the tracks and make tracks to one that looks inhabited. That's what I wanted to do.
You
Very
are.
smart.
I mean, yeah, that's very smart. Probably very difficult. Okay. Yeah. What is the first thing you want to do in this scenario then?
If one looks relatively uninhabited, because I would imagine like there's stuff around, like maybe bones and some nesting and whatnot. If it is inhabited, right?
Okay.
There's gonna
So the
be
first
stuff
thing you
there.
want to do is like actually get to the caves. I
Yeah.
mean, you want to, or do you want to say everyone wait here? I am going to go scout the caves, and then we'll pick caves.
I want to get to the caves as like a group, and then say, okay, let's look, see which ones look uninhabited. Like, there's nothing that lives here. There's no like mess left behind, bones or nesting or any of that fur, whatever.
Sure.
So.
Okay. Yeah. The group continues on, and as you arrive at this set of caves, you see before you a good mile of rock with multiple entrances and many things to check out. You wager it could take you all night to look through these caves.
Well, whatever the first one that looks uninhabited, that's the one we're going in. That's it.
I'm gonna be honest in
one...
this scenario. Malago's hunting goggles were damaged in the crash. He's like a guy pretending to be on the phone. He's been walking ahead of the group and occasionally stopping and looking through the goggles. It's just black, and it says error. There's nothing in the goggles. He's just leading you to the nearest cave mouth. He's just gonna go inside and shoot if something's in there. That's his game plan.
I'm gonna let him do that, and I'm gonna keep searching. Can I do a perception check of the first few caves that we come upon?
Absolutely. I'll let you do one cave at a time.
Okay. First cave.
Because you have to go in the caves.
Okay, I'm going in the cave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's dark. It's very, very dark. But you can tell that based on the droppings on the ground, it appears that there's something that uses the ceiling as its home.
I point at the droppings and I walk out, and if Ilago follows, he follows.
I fire
that
at
the
ceiling.
You fired the ceiling?
No, don't fire. Oh my god.
Yeah,
I walk out anyway.
roll for me your blaster.
All right.
You fire and the bolt ricochets off the walls of the cave, and you realize that it isn't just rock you're firing on, but beneath the like very thin layer of dirt and rock are crystals, and it is reflecting the shot around this cave. And as it echoes into the distance of the cave, you hear sort of like multiple screeches deep within the cave, but nothing comes out.
Cool. All right. I mean, the advantages of this
so bad.
were we know there's monsters in there. We heard them, and no one got shot. So I think I used those advantages well.
Yeah, can't you use those advantages to like spend on something? Because that's a lot.
Yeah. I'll give a boost to Drea's next cave exploration.
Cool.
The boost is that I'm not there. That's the boost.
I'm gonna.
So,
I look at him and
cave.
I'm like, please don't shoot in the next few, okay? When something comes at us, put that away. You obviously don't know how to use it. And I walk away.
It comes out, so I'm definitely gonna shoot. What do you mean?
Okay, but nothing came at us. I just pointed to some droppings and you're gonna shoot? No, that's not how this works, man. You need to relax.
I heard
Still
it.
a little woozy from the crash, you know?
I'm fine.
Okay, I walk into the next cave.
Yeah, give me a search. Give me a perception.
Did you do that boost already?
It's already on there.
Awesome.
Nothing. A whole bunch of you didn't get the boost for some reason. It was right there.
Oh.
Try it again. Maybe I clicked off of it. I'll let you re-roll this. There we go. Okay. Yes, you go inside this cave, and you discover, in fact, that It appears that there's a light dusting of earth on the ground, and it looks like nothing has been in here for some time. The cave goes back, but does not go deep within the actual crystals themselves. There is an end to the cave, which means it's a dead end, but nothing lives here.
I look at Olago and I'm like, okay, you can shoot in here. And I push him in.
It's empty.
That's the point. And I go to walk out, and that's when I want to go clear up tracks. I want to urge everyone to go in. This looks empty. Obviously, you can see the back. We should rest here for the night. I'm going to go clear up some tracks. And I look at Oda, and I'm like, you want to help?
Certainly.
Okay, so the two of you go out to clear tracks. PR3, what is your plan? Are you just sort of waddling along into the cave with the others?
I guess I kind of have to stick with them because I realize that I can't do what I need to do on my own, basically.
Okay.
But when Deo comes out of the cave, I like to say,
You were not ripped apart screaming by any creatures. Therefore, I will now enter the cave.
Good to know.
Damage yourself.
So PR3 and the remaining survivors walk into the cave where Lago is standing, blaster ready, as Dio and Oda go out into the desert and begin to clean up their tracks. How do you do this in a way that doesn't look like someone just moved desert?
I'm gonna take off my coat and try to drag it behind me, and just do that in motions. Does that make sense?
Sure.
What if
And I'm gonna
we
look at her and highly encourage her to do similar, and not grab large objects.
Yeah.
What
I
if
mean,
instead of trying to wipe them away, we just try to make tons more? What if we just try to make them look like they went lots of different directions?
No, I was gonna have it specifically walk into the one that looks like there's things living inside of it.
Nice.
That's what I was gonna do. Just so, if anything, they'll go in there, they'll start shooting, and we'll hear them, so we'll know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is a very, very deceptive plan, is what this is. So I think this
We
is
are trying to deceive them.
100% deception. Here's what I'll say.
Okay.
You both can roll, obviously, but Oda, you have a bonus die for this as well. And remember, you have your force die. You straight up can use the force to mask your path.
I want to use the force to mask our path.
Totes.
Okay. So this is what we'll do. We'll do if one of you would do that. And then I think we need Dio to go first on this roll.
Deception?
So you can use the force for you. No, unfortunately not. And then next is you, Oda.
And I'm rolling deception, right?
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it turns out a little stressful. You're a little overwhelmed by, okay, I goofed, and I have to make this right. But because you are that person who will make it right, you succeed. And this plan goes off without a hitch. And you begin to sort of mask the tracks leading to the cave you're in. And then you have the tracks that the first group of you took to the bad cave, we'll say, are still there.
Great.
Do you want to add any more tracks? What are you trying to do? What else are you trying to do to...
Yeah, I want to basically eliminate the tracks from our cave, but add more tracks into the cave with these animals in them.
Sure.
Do I know what kind of animals are in this, or I just know that there's something that can
hang from the ceiling and sounds like when it's being shot.
A bat.
That's all
okay,
you know.
got it. Batman's in there.
It is in there. That's what it is. Laga's tempted to go back in.
Yeah,
No,
it
don't
could
do
very
it.
well
I'm
be
not
dinner.
gonna let you. I will knock you out. Do not go back in.
There are, with your 3 successes, you clearly managed to just make this deception work, and
I'm
it
now
looks
just like
like you've all
navigating
walked
her,
to it.
telling her like this is what you do, and because I'm not doing it very well because maybe I'm just too heavy or something, too big. So she's little.
Yeah, everything that you do works. Oda makes it somehow look great. It's almost like supernatural how well she is at doing this. And the group of you managed to go back and meet with the others. And night falls on the desert. But the cave is pitch black.
Can we, like, well, maybe lighting a fire wouldn't be a good idea. Is it cold?
Let's see. Do any of you know anything about this planet? PR3, you had a roll about this planet. Does it get cold at night here?
Well, I just mean like
You're the one that
do I
can't tell
feel
if it's cold. What do you mean?
Yeah,
right now,
I can-
right now, you are all in like layered outfits. So you've been walking through a desert. You are sweaty. Right now, you are in no position to tell. Like, the cave is damp. The cave is chilly, but it'll take you to. You'll have to figure this out. Will it get cold? Right now, you're not cold. Will it get cold?
Well, then I'm gonna look for ways to create a fire just in case. Is there any kind of fire fodder?
In this cave, there's nothing in this cave.
Like around the outside, anything?
It's a desert. A desert
Okay,
with
good
crystal
to know.
mountains.
Good to know. Should have
I'm
thought of that
gonna
before.
check. I'm gonna check the next cave. Laga's checking the next cave. Cave 3.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
go with him in case he dies.
Do any of you others go with him?
We could use
I
some of
do.
the smaller survivors as kindling.
You should say that. Yes, PR. So Bikeman is PR3 in real life.
Well, I mean, you definitely can go. Does any of you want to stay with the others, or are you all gonna go?
I encourage Oda to at least stay with the others.
Okay, yeah.
They seem
She
to
does
like
that.
her.
She's still trying to like
PR3,
kumbaya them.
are you staying?
Right now I'm using one of the refugees like cloaks or whatever to like wipe and polish my arm. So I don't know.
Of
They're
course.
huddled up shivering, and you're just like using it to rub yourself down.
I gotta get shiny again, man.
Okay, so Dio, Ilago, you leave, and the others sort of look to you, Oda, like, where are they going?
Oh, don't worry. They'll be right back. They're just, making sure everything's safe. They're very kind.
Safe from what?
Well, anything.
What? Anything
Don't
what?
tell me that you've not been aware that there are things that could be unsafe if you've landed on an Imperial prison ship.
I spent my life as a slave.
That sounds
All
very
I know
unsafe.
was- Yes, but I've never been outside of an Imperial city before, so I don't know.
Well, do you have any questions for me?
They begin to ask you all the questions. All, like, ridiculous questions about the stars.
I'm extremely frank with them. Like, everything I know, even if it's super scary, I'm just like, yes, this thing will kill you. It will bite your head off first. Just completely 100% frank.
Yeah, they ask you nonsensical things. And Dio, Lago, you hear that conversation start as you leave and head back out into the desert.
I like encourage Ulago to move faster. Oh god, get us out of here. But before we exit, I look at Ulago and I say, hey, just try not to make, too many tracks. Like, we just clean this up. We're trying to throw them off a little bit.
No, I had a lot of fun watching you guys kick sand for 2 hours. I'm sure it's going to help.
Hey, look, you know what? Just go. What are we doing? What are you doing? Where are we going?
PR3
Getting out
next
of
to
this
you. the two Clatoonians are looking over to you because you seem like the only sensible one here. And one of them says to you, we should get out of here. That's how they talk, apparently. We should get out of here.
Sounds like a Clatoonian to me.
Thank you. This is what we've done, like Clatoonians. We're dog people. we have cute little dog faces. Don't worry about it. It's canonical, trust me.
Someone clip this for canon, please.
Unfortunately, you seem of dubious intelligence, and I'm already following a group that is slightly less stupid.
What? Oh, you're stupid. He like turns and looks at his friend, and his friend's just like, I don't know. Maybe we should stay with him. Right? He's like, I don't think we should stay. We should go. He's like, I don't. And they start talking to each other on the other side of PR3 in hushed tones that you can't hear over yourself regaling the human slaves with tales of space.
I vote to make the show just the rest of the time, just Jesse talking to himself as two Clatoonians.
I don't like your idea. No. The problem is I made the Clatoonian sound very similar to like people in Jabba's palace. So now if you find Jabba's palace, I'm doomed.
It's a little bit like Watto too, like a little bit, you know.
You know what? They're from the same city. It's like it's like the New York of space. They're all from the same area. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So outside, Dio, Olago, you sneak over to the cave in the distance. Will you roll me a stealth to see how stealthily the two of you pull this off? Whoops. I'll give you that one because I loves yous. I'll give you that one because I loves yous.
Wait, why do I?
Okay. I don't know why you have it. I took. I think maybe you have it on your screen. Maybe.
I'm gonna re-roll that. I had a bonus dice in there.
Yeah. Wait. Did we both have a bonus?
No.
Oh. Wait, what?
So, the good news is, while you didn't straight up fail, Lago, you're not really being helpful. Dio is going out of her way to clean up after you as you're just stomping to the next cave.
I'm like hopping and
burying my footprints, and I'm just walking.
Dude, you're like as big as me. Come on, man.
This isn't helping anyone.
No, you're not.
And,
I'm just like bitching the whole. Like, oh, come on.
Yeah, you're just trying your hardest to clean up, and no matter what you do, he just makes it worse. But somehow, you manage to make it so you stealthily get to this other cave.
I want to
on the inside.
By the way.
Sorry.
I want to clear strain with the advantage.
Go for it.
How many is it? Just one?
It's you can use one for one.
Okay, I'll do two then because I was getting up there.
And so you go to this cave, and inside darkness. You want to give it a check and see what's in there?
Hey, that was some good flying back there, by the way.
Hey, I mean, you gave me the helmet. That really helped. Sorry there wasn't more.
Largo.
Dio. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I extend my hand.
I fire into the cave.
Oh my god! I extend my hand. He fires into the cave.
That
like,
shot.
Pull it back. Like, I'm sorry. I didn't know you didn't like handshakes.
Oh my god! You fire into the cave, and as you do, you hear all these loud guttural roars, just like multiple, just like echoing in the cave, and suddenly you hear a rumble headed right towards you.
I run. I don't even bother. I grab him and I run, and I'm like, we gotta get around the corner. We gotta hide.
Yeah, I literally swing her around to the side of the cave mouth, and we just kind of rip the wall.
Yeah, as you do, these giant multi-horned beasts come running from deep within the cave, like a big pack or herd, and explode from the cave mouth right past you. You count dozens of them as they run past out into the desert, and they're so quick and so powerful that you in the other cave, Oda PR3, you feel a rumbling. It almost feels like an earthquake, and everything is like the cave you're in, dust is falling from the ceiling. The couple sort of hugs each other. The Clatoonians look at each other like, what the what? And suddenly it starts to fade away, and in the distance you can see, all of you looking out of the caves can see a herd of these beasts running off into the desert. But Dio, Lago, as you peer back into the cave, as the dust clears, you see way back in the cave the lifeless body of the one that Ilago hit.
Hey.
Oh, there's food right there, man. And I just like, that's cool. We gotta take what we can or drag it out of here.
All right. You get the back legs, I get the front legs.
I look around first. Is there anything that we could use for burning?
It maybe you'd have to give me a perception check.
Okay.
Yeah, it's dark, but yes, you see that there appears to be what was the homes or the nests of these creatures, sort of areas of soft, mossy twigs that were sort of matted together to make places where they could lay. And one of them is directly under the dead body of this beast you shot. But you can see many, many others. It appears to be places where they, at least from what you can see, slept, defecated, ate on, whatever.
I grab one of the nests.
They're nasty.
I grab one of the nests. I don't care, and I put it on top of the body, and then I grab the back legs.
How heavy is this thing? Like, is this just a grunting drag job, or are we gonna be able to?
We're gonna grunt and drag, probably.
Hoist this thing up.
Well, I guess it all depends on your athletics.
Okay, I'm rolling athletics now.
Yeah. You both have to roll for this for sure.
Oh no. Can I give him that advantage?
You definitely can give him the advantage.
I'm gonna give him that advantage.
I'll add it to you right now, Strippin. There you go.
Well,
for some reason it didn't show up, but I don't think you want to re-roll that, so I'm gonna let you have this.
Yeah, please don't.
Yeah, you managed to lift this creature, and for your triumph, what would you like, sir?
When we lift the creature, we find that it was sitting on a bunch of eggs.
Suka.
Delicious, nutritious Suka! Eggs. So we're gonna take those back too.
He lifts it up. I try to help him, and he just lifts it up all by himself. And I'm like, all right. So I start grabbing the eggs.
Yeah. There are 4 eggs underneath this creature, and you begin to take them back to the cave. And because of your sneak, you are fine getting back. For some reason, Ulago is even more sneaky while carrying a beast. And you manage to walk into the cave. And I imagine it's a very ominous scene as Oda and PR3 are telling stories. And then you hear this sort of noise that sounds like a grunt, like "Rrr!" And then this horn of this beast and creature appears in the doorway. And the group looks terrified. And then you realize the grunt, of course, was Ulago carrying this giant beast. And everyone's like, oh. And behind Ulago is Dio with several eggs in her hands.
Cool.
Dump
in the mouth of the cave.
With that xenology roll before, do I recognize what kind of creature this is?
You don't recognize it from this planet, but you recognize it as some sort of pack beast or some sort of mud creature, like similar to a mudhorn family.
Would I have the knowledge of how a mudhorn raises eggs? And would I know that if I kept one of those eggs warm or cold or whatever, I could get it to hatch?
Well, you definitely 100% need to roll for that.
Okay, another xenology?
Yeah.
Okay, bless me, because this would be the coolest thing ever, chat.
We'll see. Yes! Turns out you definitely 100% know that you very much need to keep this thing warm. Like, extremely warm. There's a reason why eggs like these are best served room temperature. Because when they're warmed up, that's how you incubate this thing. And the fur on the outside is there because it needs to be even warmer than being a furry egg.
Okay. When you say very, very warm, like if I held it to my body, like wrapped it up in my cloak and just like kept it with me, would that be warm enough?
I don't know. And I don't think you know either. You've never raised one of these before. But it would be warmer than just leaving it out in the open. But what you do know is it was under the giant tonnage of this beast that Lago has taken to your cave. So it has to be as warm as that.
I want to give a stirring speech explaining to the rest of these people, because I see this golden opportunity of like everyone is scared, everyone doesn't know what to do next. I'm going to unite them around this common purpose of this baby mudhorn or baby mudhorns that are now going to be our new family, and we're going to raise them right so that they can help defend us and basically like be our pets. And it's going to be everyone's job to help keep these eggs warm. And as we leave them back in the cave when we go on the stealth mission tomorrow, it's going to be so important that they contribute to our mission by keeping these.
I look at Ulago and PR3 and I'm just like, what is she talking about?
Yeah, well, so they're going to keep these eggs warm.
Before you give this epic speech, we got a leadership roll to see if anyone buys into this epic speech.
Okay. Can I use that advantage I got on the xenology roll to add something here?
Wow. Absolutely you can. Yes.
Okay. So do I add a die for that? What do I do?
I already did it. It should be there. Let's see if it happens. Yeah.
Oh.
Nothing. Yeah, you give this stirring speech about how these creatures together will unite you. You've been through so much, but now you can raise these creatures and give them the life that these slaves could never have. And together, you'll both find freedom in each other's eyes and all this nonsense. And one of the slaves looks at you and goes, "But
Lago is silent this whole time." And then he lets her finish, and he just stands up and holds up and goes, "Who's hungry?"
Yeah, all the slaves look at it and they just like, "But we're hungry," and they just run to these eggs and begin to just crack them open.
Nope, I'm still holding them. They aren't gonna get this shit from me. I straight up like face palm one of them.
Oh yeah, they are coming to you. However, the couple is still looking at you, Oda, and the woman says, "How would we choose which one to raise? There's 4 of them."
I walk up to Oda as I'm like trying to hold these awful people back, and I hand her one, and I'm like, "There's your one," and I have 3 others, and I'm just holding them. I'm like, "Okay, you'll get your food. Stop. We're gonna split it, and we have some meat. Don't you want meat with your eggs? Come on, sit down."
It's like baby birds. Beep, 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 beep.
Yes, it's just
I take the one that Dio gives me, and I like look so grateful at her, and then I take it to the couple like very gently, and I cradle it in my arms, and then I hand it to them, and I imagine that it's like the 2 young parents being handed their baby for the first time, and I'm like, care for
it. They wrap it around the blanket with them, and the man goes, "Oh, it's warm," and he sort of like rubs the top part of it, the furry part of it.
You must keep it very warm, very, very warm.
Yeah, they begin to like rub the egg, like they're stroking the fur of the egg.
I give them instructions like anything I know about how to hatch this egg. I just impress that they have to keep it very warm. It's their responsibility. It's mission critical. They have to take care of it.
Yeah, they are very excited. And look at you, so pleased that they've never in their life has anyone given them anything ever except a beating. That's all. This is the first gift they've ever received.
I feel
give the
so
rest of
warm
the
and
eggs
fuzzy.
to Oda. I'm like, okay, hold these. We're eating these. Don't give it to them, please. And then I start trying to make the fire.
Sure. This is something you definitely know how to do. You use the moss and the sticks and the dung and all stuff, and you shoot your blaster shot into it, and it starts this fire in the middle of the room. Lago, you have this giant beast.
1 second.
Lighting a fire in an unventilated cave. Considering what happened on the ship earlier, one may think that perhaps asphyxiating to death is
in
a
the mouth of
hobby.
the cave. It's fine.
In the mouth of the cave. You can't even breathe. Why are you complaining?
Very well. If everyone dies to death, then you'll be responsible.
I'll take that responsibility, okay? Just
Very well. Now everyone gather around and I will tell you the tale of why you are not invited to high society parties that matter, and how to deal with the crippling depression that results from that knowledge.
if we need to put out this fire, I'm throwing your body on it first.
I'm made from metal.
I don't care. I don't even care. I don't even care at this point. I don't care. I look at Ilago. I don't care.
You're hangry.
Make some damn food. Okay, we'll just try to fan it out that way. Hey, you three. And I point to the Cletonians. I'm like, start fanning this, I guess. Fan it out that way. You want food?
Yeah.
Do some work.
They begin to help with the fire, and several of the others look at the meat that has been brought back, this beast, and look at you, Lago, and are just like, and? What are we going to do with that?
Okay, well, I'm assuming we need to roll to prepare this stuff.
Can I give him advantage by helping?
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Hey, can I just use a force die to like really comfortably feed us all?
Yes, you definitely can. I'll let you use the force on that if you use that light side.
Yeah. Let's use the force die to adequately prepare generic wildebeest for consumption.
Yeah.
By K family.
Mm-hmm. What are you going to use to roll? What are you rolling?
We're going to roll Deo's melee ability to chop it up.
Go to town. Do it.
My ability?
Yeah, you're the woman who has the best melee. Yeah, you try to stab into this creature, and it has a very thick hide.
Well, shit. I look at Ulago, I'm like, well, we're gonna need something better than this. You can shoot
off the hide.
What? I give him advantage. I give him my die.
Okay, yeah, you try to shoot off the hide.
I hate how you put a question mark on the end of that. I don't miss. I missed.
Yeah, no, you fire at this hide, and it leaves a nice scorch mark. You definitely can see how you killed it. It burnt some of the flesh, and it probably, when you shot it in the head, it definitely took a beating. It's bad news, but it just scorched into the flesh and meat of the creature, but there's no, like, cut in it. There's nothing you can just, like, reach in and pull. You just sort of burnt it a little bit more.
But I have pierce too.
I know, but you didn't get the
It's not relevant. It was a good bit, but
Can I just try to Red Dead Redemption 2 this and just try to pull it with my hands?
Well, that's what I was trying to say. If he had done a thing where he shot it and had pierced the creature, you guys could have pulled back the flesh. But none of you have succeeded in piercing. Where would you reach into? There was only 2 holes.
That's what she said. Okay, anyway.
I mean, no matter what you're doing, There's only 2 things you can pull. And
I
I'm
shoot
gonna
it
pull
again.
flesh.
Shoot it again.
In the
We're
same
just
place.
shooting at it, like target
Hold on,
practice.
let me remove your all right. Well, no matter what, you got a 1 on it. So, but you definitely need to next time remove your bonus die, Sam.
I get 1
So,
from
yeah.
accurate.
Yeah, you shoot it again, and you hit this thing. It was actually my bonus die. Whoops. You shoot it again, and this time you hit it one more time, and the meat is. You've done a little bit of charring to this creature. It's not as delicious looking as it once was before.
Look at that success. I shot the leg off.
Can you give me bonus die, however many, Sam? Can you just give that to me?
I shot the leg off. I shot the leg off. We're gonna cook that leg.
You definitely have shot this creature with your pierce. So now you can pull back the skin and get in at the meat and stuff. But because you've now shot it 3 times with a hunting blaster, this isn't like a blaster pistol. This thing leaves marks. The outside of this creature is pretty scorched, and the meat is kind of but it's definitely edible. You definitely can eat this thing, and now you have access to the meat inside.
I'll give a bonus dice to Deo for getting in there.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try and brawl that shit off.
Give it a roll. Rip that
the corpse.
Rip that thing apart.
Is it melee? Wait, is it melee or is it brawl?
Melee's with a weapon. Brawl is with your fists.
I'm gonna try and fist it.
You fist that beast. You fist that beast
I don't
real
think that's
well.
necessary. Really, I don't.
You 3-star fist that beast. And so you just rip this thing apart and you start pulling limbs. It's to Oda, who has been trying to save this creature's children. It is truly a disgusting sight. Blood spurt, pieces of flesh, like bones crunching, and then Dio's just throwing it back towards the fire as it lands on the dirt.
Largo's gone over his shoulder in a very intense nod of approval. He's standing over Deo as she does this, and he's like, yeah.
PR3, you
Oda,
notice
meanwhile, has turned her back to that, and she's like, never mind that. And she's talking to these eggs as she's making little sand piles next to the fire and kind of tucking them in, keeping them toasty next to the fire, completely ignoring that we were going to eat them and just trying to keep them warm.
Yeah, PR3, you see
good call.
You see these 2 parts of sentient species. One ripping another to bits, and the other just I can't look at this. I'm going to care for the. What do you think of this nonsense?
Bewildering.
Always knows just the right one-word response.
Yeah, it's a wildebeest, yes.
Shut up, Sam. Oh my god. That was good.
So, you begin to feast, and people are ripping this meat apart, and they're cooking it to their various desires. Oda, do you eat any of this meat? Are you a space vegetarian? Or
I think I am, yeah. I think I'm a space vegetarian. I think
Now
that,
after all
that.
that.
Yeah, especially after that.
Okay.
I think maybe she could be prevailed upon to try some meat if it were properly, respectfully obtained, the animal was blessed for its sacrifice of life force. And this was not according to Oda's religion.
The vegetarians eat eggs?
I think that she would be more down for the eggs, but in this case, she has decided they are babies. So far, no. So far, she's not planning on eating them.
All right. As night goes on, this feast continues, and everyone gets full and begins to just gorge on this meat. Meanwhile, in the corner, the Clatoonians are using one of the hollowed out eggshells that people ate the egg from earlier. One of the eggs.
They did take the eggs? Because I had tucked them in by the fire, so I guess when I turned my back, then somebody just grabbed them and started eating them.
Largo thought you were preparing them, and he definitely ate one.
Yeah, all right.
We cooked them for sure. All but the the couples, and I want to throw this other. I threatened anyone that touched that egg that I would fucking break their skull in.
Yeah, no, there's
Good,
definitely
thank
one
you.
egg that is like fine. There's one egg that is great. But this other egg, the Clatoonians have taken and used the hollowed out egg that no longer has goop in it to gather blood from what's left of the creature. And they have concocted some sort of drink from the blood that is the closest thing you're going to get to water anytime soon. And have begun passing it around to everyone.
No. I think Oda would, if the eggs were prepared, she probably had some of that, but she draws the line at this like egg blood cup thing. Nope.
Oh, it is gross looking, but everyone who drinks it says it tastes surprisingly good.
Can I do a check to make sure it's not poison?
Sure. But everyone's drinking of it, but sure, you definitely can.
You know what? I just want to make sure, okay?
Yeah, I mean, if everyone dies, like...
Lago drinks it, then hands it to you, Deo.
And I cheers him,
check.
and then try to make sure it's
Let
not
that be your check.
Yeah.
What is it
you can
that
get
I
perception.
Oh, perception? Okay.
You perceive it to be poisoned.
Oh my god, give me a breath.
You look at it, and you can't... It's so dark. You're so thirsty. You've not had anything to drink for a whole day. This is it. This is the only liquid you've seen, and you're just... This is it.
You know, sometimes you find yourself Googling things during role-playing games that you really hope don't get saved in your history, such as, would drinking blood actually hydrate you?
Does it? I'm going on the premise
it's also,
it does.
I don't know if the computer's just listening to me or if this is like a common search thing, because I typed would drinking and it finished blood hydrate you right away for me. So...
My favorite is someone in chat said it makes you go insane. Is that true? I thought that because blood's mostly water, you should be in theory fine.
I'd rather drink my piss, is what I say to Alago, and I pass it on.
Whoa. And I guess Oda doesn't drink it either?
No, she can't get past it. The whole process, like, again, maybe with the correct rights and respect, but it hasn't been, so.
Sure. Will you... Oda, will you roll for me a... What would this be?
Are you trying to do a dehydration roll? Because I did say I had some...
No, I'm not trying to do a dehydration roll. I'm trying to figure out what... Oh, come on, thing.
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Are we good? Am I back? Oh my god, I almost freaked out.
Back.
Woo!
Audio's good.
All right. Anyway, man, I was about to type in chat like, no. What I'm trying to figure out is if anyone notices that you have not eaten anything, that you have not.
No, I ate egg.
You did eat egg?
Yeah.
Yeah, Alago would have offered us some egg.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was about to be sure, like, you've just spent an entire day in a desert, and you're like, I'm fine, don't worry. Okay.
No.
So, great. So you eat, and you share stories, and the sun sets in the distance, and night falls. What's your plan for the sleeping hours?
Stamp out the fire. Do Lago's first move.
Okay. What do you want to do, Oda? PR3? Anything you want to try and do?
I want to try to arrange watches. Like, I start asking who's going to take first watch, etc.
Mm-hmm.
I'll volunteer to go first.
Okay. Dio, Ulago, are you okay with this? PR3? Are you fine with Oda taking first watch?
Can you repeat? Yeah. I'll go, second.
I will pick the whole night because I do not require sleep at all and trust none of your eyes to spot danger to myself other than my own.
It's a really good idea, actually. All right, good night.
Yeah, good luck with that.
All right, Ulago, do you let PR3 just watch out for you guys?
Absolutely not. I post up.
Actually, I look at Ulago and I'm like, oh man, you get the first half, I'll get the second.
Got it.
All right, good night.
Yeah, Oda, you put your head down to go to bed, and the couple sort of like nods over to you, like, lay with us. And you lay down next to them, use some of their blanket to lay down
I help
upon.
keep the egg warm.
Yeah. And the next thing you see is a Twi'lek woman staring down at you, Oda. You're by yourself, and you are where? Where would you have spent time with a strange Twi'lek master of some sort? Where would this have been? Any idea? Any thoughts? Are you on a planet somewhere? Are you on a starship?
It's probably a planet, and maybe I'm reminded of it because it was also a kind of desert, but not this crystal type of desert.
Great. And she's mouthing something to you. It is definitely something related to training. What kind of training did you do with her?
Maybe she's mouthing focus because I'm trying to learn something about some sort of force skill, but I just can't seem to keep my mind right.
Why can't you keep your mind right? What distracts you the most that makes you unable to focus?
Because I don't understand why this is so important. I just, I don't get it.
Yeah, and as you have this conversation with her, and you can't tell if she's scolding you or instructing you, but she helps you up from the ground, and next to you, you see two other people in brown robes as well, and one of them begins talking not with your master, but at your master, and even though it's echoey and distant and in the past, you remember this moment as this other character who is shrouded and a little bit mysterious saying, you are far too old to be doing this, that you shouldn't be there, that this is a mistake, and that you can't learn these things because you grew up already unwilling to give yourself over to the Force. And as that's said to you, you hear the ever-present, always noticeable sound of a TIE fighter overhead, and you wake up, and the sun is rising, and PR3, in the distance, you, Dio, and Ulago, who are at the edge of the cave, see 4 TIE fighters in the air headed towards the direction of where the crash was. Clearly, they were waiting for daylight to go investigate.
I awake with a gasp.
That was like a hiccup.
It was.
I awake with a hiccup.
I
Startled
awake
hiccup.
with a gasp so deep that it gives me the hiccups.
Yeah, you pop awake, and the couple looks at you. They pop awake as well, almost in a panic. And you notice that these TIE fighters are blasting off right towards where the crash was. They clearly aren't looking for you in the caves, but they will eventually begin to widen their search.
Well, it looks like it's time for us to start planning.
Stealth mission.
Ulago puts an arm around Deo and kind of pulls Deo to the side. We can't bring these people with us.
Oh, I don't think we should bring these people with us at all. I mean, we could probably send them into the city, right? They'll blend in.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean,
They
better
can
than
make
us.
a new life for themselves in these caves.
I like what the droid's saying.
I thought the plan was to leave them in the caves while we got a ship and then pick them up on the way back.
Hey, we can do
you're
that.
awake.
We just
Okay,
have
hey.
to go now.
Yeah, we should probably do that. We should probably. I point to Oda. I'm like, they seem to like you. You go tell them that we're gonna go try to find a ship, and they should stay here and be quiet and lay low. Maybe try to hide themselves a little bit, and we'll be back.
Mm-hmm. I do that. I go
part where we saw the TIE fighters. Try to leave that up.
Everyone heard them. It's TIE fighters make a very distinct twin ion engine noise.
I was just hoping that maybe everyone was asleep still.
Quick, make a yawn like a TIE fighter noise.
Just me. Everyone seems worried, and you very much are just like, stay here? Is that your plan, to tell them to stay?
Yeah, I explained the plan to them, that it's very important that, you know, they're not detected, because we know how to find a ship here, do it all the time. Totally fine, don't worry.
I walk up, I go to the Cletonians, and I'm like, what are you guys gonna do?
They look at you, they look at the outside of the cave, and they just grab their things and begin to leave.
And then I look at the couple, and I'm like, what are you gonna do?
They look to Oda.
I take one each of their cheeks. I look at them and I say, protect the child.
They look at you and just nod. It is truly the duty of their life, but also you sense that really they only know how to do what they're told. So they may not want to do this, but this is what they're going to do, because this is all they know.
So I asked them a direct question. I'm like, will you take the child to the city and make a new life there? Or will you hide here and wait for us?
What do you think we should do?
Search your feelings.
My feelings tell me to ask you. What should we do?
I'm like, they're gonna find us by the time we leave. I'm leaving.
I pat the couple on the back. I'm like, get the fuck in the city. Take the egg. If you need to eat it, eat it. Go make a new life. Learn how to be your own people. Go. And I like hit him on the back, like not hard enough to hurt him, but like just to get him going, to jolt them.
Yeah, they get up and scurry out of the cave, and the rest of the survivors do the same, leaving the four of you behind.
I look at Oda, I'm like, they need to make a new life. They can make it. We obviously stand out, especially. No, all of us. We all stand out. We need to go.
There is a high probability that they will all be dead within 2 hours.
Well,
as the couple leaves, Ulago slips them 50 credits.
Aww.
Very sweet.
I don't think anyone sees.
No, I don't see.
As the four of you watch this group flee towards the city as fast as they can, you have the sudden realization that the prison is on the other side of the city, which means you're going to have to go through the city as well. So much like saying goodbye to someone and then walking the same direction, you now have to follow these people you just said, go to the city, get out of here, as you are going as well.
I mean,
well,
maybe
we can really awkward where you say goodbye to someone, but then you're walking alongside them to the same destination.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, that's what is happening right now.
Okay.
I don't even feel that shame because I try to be as stealthy as I can. So.
Yeah, it doesn't particularly matter if you're stealthy because there are many footprints headed towards the city from this cave now. In fact, based off what you did last night, there's just footprints going towards one cave and then a bunch of footprints going from a totally different cave towards the city.
Yeah, but what's the harm? Stormtroopers are idiots, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, no, I'm not even. There's like, I literally have nothing. I'm just gonna be like, I don't even give a shit. Let's just go.
All right, you begin to follow behind this group of people who are running towards the city. Are you running or are you just going?
Nah.
You're just gonna.
I think we're moving at PR3's optimum speed.
Sure, of course.
Point.
The group of you.
His footprints wouldn't even be like footprints; they'd be like shuffle marks.
Just two little ruts.
It's like a cross-country skier.
Yes. The group of you managed to get within distance of the city, and you see over the ridge. Let's see if I can give you that shot. You see this. This is sort of what the city looks like in the distance.
Oh, cool.
And you can see that it's a mix of both, Star Wars future tech, but also mud huts and very Tatooine-y looking. We live in a desert. We make stuff out of the actual desert. It appears to be a average size galactic rim style city where you probably can find what you need, but it probably is going to be in a underground black market situation. And more importantly, from what PR3 knows, is that there is only one establishment that can make that happen for you. It is a bar called the Blue Blurred of Happiness is the name of it.
Blurred?
The Blue Blurred of Happiness is the name. Don't ask me. It's canonical. I just am going with what it's called. The Blue Blurred of Happiness.
Love it.
Is the name. And BLERD, Blue Blurred. And it is the tavern in the city that if you want something done, you probably can get it done there. If you need help getting in the prison, but you definitely don't have to go there. You can go wherever you want. This city is now open to you. You see all of these people that were with you run towards the town, and you realize as they enter the city limits, there's no stormtroopers, there's no guards. It just feels like there's people walking around the town, almost like they don't care they live in the shadow of a giant imperial prison, almost like it doesn't affect them at all, which is probably weird.
That does seem weird.
Yeah. And that
I
is
asked
where we'll end
PR3,
it for
is that
today.
weird?
Wait, what?
I want to ask PR3 is this to be expected?
No, they're definitely not acting normal.
If I'd have known it was this close, I wouldn't have stayed in the bloody cave.
Yeah, it definitely seems strange to you. It is not normal. Something is clearly up, but we will leave that for next week. And we will say our goodbyes here. Let's go around this screen and see what people are doing. Yeah. Next time, we'll get into some crazy stuff. But let's see what people are up to. Anna, what's going on with you this week?
Oh, well, I'm here in San Francisco because I'm going to be doing a stream from the Twitch office tomorrow, showing off the new Twitch experience. I'm not sure what's been said about it yet, but it'll be tomorrow on /Twitch. Me and DJ Weed will be doing that. And so tune in if you like, if you dare. You can follow me on social media for updates about that. And then I'll also be at PAX South coming up the next week to do some D&D playing with Acquisitions Incorporated. We'll also have Cantrip, the clothing brand, in a booth there. So I'll see y'all in San Antonio.
Sam, what's up with you this week? What you doing?
Well, Hunter Iceborne drops tomorrow. I'm going to be hunting some monsters most of the week. Hunting monsters. You know me.
Most of the week.
You a monster?
I do.
You're not safe. I'm gonna hunt you.
Pokket, what are you up to?
I'm not gonna be hunting monsters. I'm just gonna be. I don't even know what I'm doing. I've been playing Overwatch lately. I don't know. I'm like 3 years too late, maybe 4. I don't know how long it's been out, but I've been playing a lot of Overwatch, and I'm a Bastion main. I can't help it, okay? And that's been my life. It's been my life lately. Photos and Overwatch. So you can follow me on Twitter at Pokket, twitch.tv/Pokket. And yeah, that's about it. I've been looking forward to this roleplay every week, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Thank you. I am too. I get to Star Wars, y'alls. It's great.
Well, I'm a fellow Star Wars nerd, so I've only been Baby Yoda memeing every week.
I see that, and it's keep it up. Someone has to keep me going for a literal year. I have to wait until next October. Bikeman, what's going on with you?
I'm a lot like Sam. I'm going to be playing Iceborne for the next week. I'm primarying. Yes, I'm going to be primarying Insect Glaive, which I call the 3 lines of Coke stick. And come check it out if you want to see me flipping around, bouncing off the walls everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, thank y'all for watching and getting into some Star Wars with us. There'll be more soon, and I can't wait.
You, Cox? What are you doing, Cox?
Yeah,
what am I doing? Look, I don't want to lie to people. I will straight up just be watching probably more done quick games.
I into a galaxy far away.
Last night I should have gone to bed. Instead, I stayed up all night watching the 80Q of Final Fantasy VIII, and that was it was a real treat. That game is so silly. So yeah, I really should be working on things, but I will just be being a nerd. Oh, and if you want Star Wars podcast, our dear friend Davis returned. So we had our official Last Jedi conversation, or not Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker. It's almost like I keep forgetting that movie exists. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you so much. Be good to everyone. We'll see you next time. May the Force be with you. I'm throwing that in there too. And that's it for us. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Where's the payoff? Bring the strippers and booze! We do occasionally talk about video games. Bring the strippers and booze! Not enough time for video games. Bring the strippers and booze!
Oh, thank God, I don't need pants now.
Hey, JC! What are you doing? Not much. Making a fortune.
It's a production of broadcast.
Yeah, now sing the music.
It's a production of broadcast.
Bring the strippers and booze!
It's a production of broadcast.
I'm here to ask and answer one simple question.
It's a production of broadcast.
You got